Hey there, garden friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Today we are going to be preserving lemons. So, preserved lemons. If you've never tried them, they're really interesting. First of all, it's super easy. All you need is lemons, a jar, salt, and lemon juice, and thyme. Preserved lemons are used a lot in Mediterranean cooking and also African cooking. And they, when they preserve for long enough, the rinds are chewy and delicious, and they don't have that necessarily super strong tart lemon flavor, but they add wonderful depth to different dishes. So these make great gifts. They're super easy to do, and we're going to jar up a bunch today. I got gifted some lemons, and these are all Meyer lemons, and I also had a bunch on my tree. So mine are very small. First of all, these are the ones that were gifted to me, nice and big, and they smell delicious. They've already been washed. And then mine are smaller, but my tree is very young, and so it's important to pick off the lemons, especially if you're new trees, once they color up, because what will happen is if you let them sit on there and thinking they'll get bigger, basically the tree tries to put a little bit of more energy into growing that lemon bigger, and it just really won't. So then it won't flower for you, it won't put on root growth, none of that stuff. So once they ripen, even if they're small, go on and harvest them, because that will allow the plant to divert energy into something else, like flowering for more lemons. Okay, so I have all of these lemons here. Like I said, the ones that were gifted to me have been washed. What I need to do is wash mine, just in soap and water, that's all. These are all in a bag, that's what all that noise is. Okay, so I'm gonna put mine through sudsy water wash real quick, and then we'll do the next step. So the next step, now that everything's washed, I have already sterilized my jars. I have these 3 jars here. They are already sterilized. They are ready to go. And these are not going to be canned. They are basically going to ferment with the salt on your countertop. So you definitely want to make sure your jars are very clean, very sterilized. So the next thing we're going to do is cut our lemons. Now you're not cutting them all the way through. We're going to cut them in quarters, but not all the way through, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm cutting down to about there. I'm going to do the same thing like this. Okay? So this opens up like that. Now what you're going to do is fill it with salt. So I'm going to take one of my jars, because the salt will spill over the side. Okay, you're going to fill the interior here with salt. Press that closed. All right, I'm going to stick this guy in here. And we're also going to add salt to the bottom of the jar. Yes, it's a lot of salt. And then we're going to move on to our next lemon. So you just proceed like that until you have packed the jar. Cut this one a little low. I think it'll still work. All right, I'm gonna need a smaller one for this final piece. Okay. All right, you gotta squeeze it in there. So what's going to happen is the salt is going to pull the lemon's juice out and start to fill the jar. However, you're going to need to add lemon juice as well. right, so now we're just gonna mash these down. They are submerged under their lemon juice. All right, and there's plenty of salt in there. So now, what you're gonna wanna do, if you have a fermentation weight, you wanna use that because you wanna make sure everything stays submerged underneath the brine so that it doesn't start to mold. Keep an eye on it. All right, so I'm gonna seal this jar. Not all the way, because I want gases to be able to escape. And then it's 4 weeks. 4 weeks on your counter, and then you have fermented or preserved lemon rind. So the way you're going to use this, you're not going to eat the meat part of the lemon, the flesh, because that's just going to be way too salty and not so good. But you'll cut the flesh away from the rind, and it's the rind that you're going to be using. So you can chop that up, you can put it into pestos. It goes into a lot of the tagine recipes from Morocco, Northern Africa. But you can do it in a lot of things. Think about it maybe in a salsa verde or just a regular red salsa. You could put it into, like I said before, pestos. You could chop it up and put it on avocado toast or something like that. Or you could even use it in some jams or jellies mixed, sprinkled on top. So lots and lots of different options for this, and it is so easy. So don't let your lemons go bad sitting on the counter. Use them, preserve them, because after 4 weeks of this sitting on your counter, you could pop it in your fridge and it'll stay there for months and months and months. So it lasts for a really long time. Nothing's going to waste. So I hope that you will give this a try. It's a really interesting, yummy flavor, and I think it's going to be something very different if you haven't had it before. Super easy, lemons and salt. You can't really go wrong there. Everybody has salt lying around, and you can get lemons either if you grow them yourself or from the store. Just make sure that you use organic lemons because it's the rind that you're going to be eating. So even if you wash it, there's still potential for pesticides. So make sure that you do organic lemons if you're going to do this. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you give this a try. I would love to hear your comments below on if you do use preserved lemons and what you use them in. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.